investment at this stage, I'm going to say something you may not agree. It's okay. Don't worry about that. The best investment we can do is for the mom to stay home and be with them at this stage. Okay? That's the best investment. I'm just saying it. It's also biblical. In biblical times, from 1 to 5 was considered mother time. The most influential years, let's look and see what they need. They need 4 things. They need teaching, they need discipline, they need play, and they need worship. So no one is better placed than you, that you love them, that we love them, the ones that really are concerned about them, to be the first ones to put our imprint into their lives. Okay, so whatever we do at this stage stays. Number 1, we're teaching. Teaching, first of all, we need to teach. Yes, we need to. Don't put up with disobedience. Disobedience is not funny. Don't laugh at disobedience. Come, little boy. And you want to, oh, so funny. No, when we laugh at their disobedience, we're telling them that's actually cute. No, we need to teach them obedience. We teach them words. Where's your nose? I remember doing that. Where's your nose? Oh, there's your nose. That's a nose. These are fingers. That's daddy. That's grandma. But we also teach them to respect mom and dad. Dad is special. Mom is special. Let me just say that we are the primary example. So the way we speak to each other is the way they are going to speak to us as well. So be careful with that. We teach them at this stage manners. Polite kids go so far. They're so loved. In Australian culture, many times children say ta instead of thank you, right? Ta, say ta, that's nice, very nice. Say thank you. Say please. Say excuse me. Make that part of the vocabulary, but it has to be part of ours for them to grab that. We are the primary example. The way we treat each other is how they will treat us and others. We have to take time. Sorry, I have to go fast. Time to discipline. Like I said, discipline is a huge subject, and if there's ever any possibility, I'm happy to come and teach on discipline. But discipline has to start early. This is when we start discipline. Discipline at this stage, our kids really can't remember that they were disciplined, because at this stage they can't remember the discipline. You can only see the after effect. That when we call them, they come. When you say do, they do. When they say stop, you stop. When you say stop, they stop. There are just no shortcuts. We don't want to spoil them. There's an ancient proverb that says it is better for the child to weep than the father, right? Some parents say, I'm going to wait till they're 7 to discipline. Please. Too late. So we start from the beginning to mean that every time we say something, it goes. And I'm getting ahead of myself in my head. I'm thinking of things. Sometimes we say, okay, it's time to pick up toys. Okay? Don't say okay. It's time to pick up toys now. This is how we do it. We pick it up. Okay? You pick up one. Yeah, we pick it up. We're picking up toys, showing them how to pick up toys. We never give a command and say okay, because okay means, oh, we're open for discussion, are we? Oh, maybe it's okay, but maybe it isn't. And so these little things matter. They need to know that you mean it. So I have a picture of an angry child. We don't call this a behavioral problem. It's a discipline problem. And there's a reason why the Bible talks about the rod. I don't have time to go into that, but this is the time when you use the rod. You use it we don't want to hurt them, right? But we do want for them to learn a lesson. and it's got to hurt a little bit. And yeah. We don't say to them, "You're such a bad boy. That's a bad boy, bad boy." No. What they did was bad. So it's bad to put that in the garbage, or it's bad to step on that, or it's a bad thing to break this thing. Not "you're a bad boy." You know, biting is a bad thing. Not "you're a bad boy for biting your father, your mother, your brother." And that's attacking, that's not discipline. So we can be firm, but we can also be friendly. And we need to take time to worship. It's never too early. That little baby I see over there, he doesn't understand anything you're reading to him. It doesn't matter. He's catching the fact that as a Christian family, we open this book, and we read it every day. And it's amazing how children do actually understand. Even when they're 1 or 2, God is a creator. Everything we see that tree over there? Oh, God made that. God, yeah. My kids used to be fascinated with Genesis 1. When God said, "Let there be light." Oh, is that how it happened? Yes. Oh, how amazing. All of a sudden, God just became so big in their lives. And that is how you do it. Just do it little by little, according to their stage. But there's beginner Bibles for toddlers with lots of pictures. You teach them to pray. You teach them to repeat your simple prayer. Little songs, "Jesus loves me." And it's a great age, actually, for them to memorize verses. They stick. They stick. It's so natural for children to believe in God. They don't need a whole bunch of discussion. They just believe naturally. I remember when we were in Bolivia and Chris got very sick, with a terrible fever, and he was unconscious. And we were having a revolution, and the phones weren't working, and everything was closed, and I had 2 little boys, and the oldest one was just 3, and I didn't know what to do. We were in this secluded place, and he came in, and he just put his hand on his father and said, "Heal Daddy, Jesus, heal Daddy, heal sick." Okay, and then he went, and I thought, such a simple prayer. Do you think God heard? Yes, he did. And take time to play. Our children need time to play. Let's not overstimulate them. Let's not give them so many toys that they can't use their creativity. So do you see this little boy? I love the fact that he found something in the kitchen, which is normally where they came and scoured through things, to be what in his mind, what he is. You know, he's a drummer. Yeah, and he's in the army, he's drumming. I love that. That's creativity. We're really doing a lot of good for their brain when we do that. Don't load them up with toys, and let them invent things. And when they don't have anything to do and they're just staring out the window, leave them alone. Let them be bored. They say they're bored. Sometimes my children will say, "I'm bored." Okay, just sit quietly. But actually, it's the mind is sort of resting. I see kids today, they're so overstimulated. We sat with our grandkids watching a Lego movie, and I mean to tell you, I felt like I was going to fall off the sofa because it was just one thing after the other, and the loud noise and the bright lights, and it's like, I'm getting dizzy. It's overstimulation. It's too much. And leave the television or movies for something special. Like it's not your daily thing. On weekends, on a day off, when the whole family can sit together and watch a movie, that can be what is done. So for this season, our main verse is, train up a child in the way that he should go. Train up a child in the way that he should go. When he's older, he will not depart from it. Take it seriously. Okay, the next stage. Gotta run. The energetic primaries. These are 6 to 12-year-olds, okay? Now they're leaving home in a consistent way. They're actually starting the separation from the parents. This is when they start separating. That's why don't separate them when they're babies. Separate them. They're going to start naturally distancing themselves from us. This is a growing process, okay? So what do we have here? This is when they start making friends. They're friends. These are not friends that we make for them. They start making their own friends. They're learning how to work in a team. They're learning to be responsible. But at this stage, I highly recommend a consistent bedtime. They need their sleep. A lot of times kids act up in school because they are just so exhausted. They haven't slept enough. They need the sleep, and they need to stay away from anything like Coca-Cola, Fanta, please, sugary drinks or unwholesome foods. At this time for the parent, we're still teaching. They still need a time to play, and they need still to worship, okay? So the parent has the ongoing role as a teacher. This is when we use meal times to talk about issues that they're starting to listen about. This is a time when we're still wanting them to play. They need to have their time to play. But this is really when we strongly oversee what they're using in their electronics. We still need to keep up the family altar, absolutely, and let them take the main role. Like little Johnny here is going to be in charge of devotions today. He can read the portion. They love it. We can play board games, family times to play together. They want to feel included. Now, how do we discipline at this stage? At this stage, we no longer spank. If we used the rod when they were between 1 and 5, actually between 1 and 3, then you no longer need it. You've done your work. Believe me, it works. At this stage, you no longer need the physical. You take away privileges. You let them suffer consequences. You give them added chores. You reprimand them. If any reprimand has to be short, concise. What is it that you're complaining about? And specific. But also at this stage, let's not be always in a bad mood, okay? I'm thinking of this family where the two kids about this age, they had son and daughter about this age, and they were fussy eaters. I don't like this, the meat. And finally, the father had enough. He said, "What is it that you want?" I said, "Ice cream." "Oh, you want ice cream? Good. Mom, take away the food, serve them ice cream. Big bowl of ice cream." The kids thought they went to heaven. Oh, what is this? The next meal, they sat down, they just got a bowl of ice cream. At breakfast, when they came for breakfast, they got a bowl of ice cream. By the second day, it was like, "Can I have some food? Will you eat whatever we put on your plate?" Yes, learn the lesson. So learn the lesson by let them suffering the consequences, okay? At this time, I think one key verse is, "My son, hear the instruction of their father, and forsake not the law of your mother." They need both parents. How blessed are the kids that have both parents. At this stage, fathers make a big difference. I'm sorry to say. The enemy has fought so hard against fatherhood. That's where patriarchy gets a foul taste in the mouth, because the enemy has poisoned that word, but really we need the fathers back into their children's lives. But both boys and girls do better when they have their father. All right, moving on. I've got 5 minutes. The budding adolescents. Who's at this stage? Okay. So many say, well, it's a difficult stage. This is a time when they're hearing so many voices bombarding them, chum, 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 in school, through electronics, social media, in the street, in the movies, in the songs, in everything. So they have a cocktail of hormones mixed with new feelings, mixed with wild voices, all working together in their minds. So we need to understand this. This is when they're navigating through difficult changes. Navigating. What are they navigating through? Well, this is when they first realize self-awareness. They realize that they're no longer considered like our children for a long time were the Chris and Erica's children, you know, and so they all sort of came into the canopy. But now they stand away from that canopy, and now they're like, oh my goodness, the spotlight is on me, apart from my family. That can be a bit apprehending. But they're also noticing a lot of body changes they're a bit embarrassed to talk about. Yeah, hormones are a serious thing. Do you remember your hormones? They were so long ago, I can't remember. But this is when we begin to think about our body image. And many times in this world and in this generation, we think of body image as self-concept, which is a very, very bad thing to do. But we live in a world where your body is always scrutinized, especially in girls. Is she fat? Is she skinny? Is she tall? Is she short? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but boys do too. I mean, boys like never before have been scrutinized to make sure that every hair is in place and wearing the right sort of jeans and the jean jacket and all of the tennis shoes and, you know, body image. They are so, am I doing all the right things? So no wonder they are so anxious. And many times, combined with depression, with hormones, sometimes they feel a little bit depressed. It's because there's too many changes and the body wants to slow down, and so they call themselves depressed. Don't be quick to medicate them. They need sleep. They have mood swings. Family relations begins to change. They sort of look at mom and dad with a bit of a critical eye. When you say to do something and put away the electronics, well, what about you? Are you putting away your electronics? I just saw you doing it. Why should I do it? Oh, my goodness, yes. But this is when a meaningful church life is very important, especially the youth leader. We need to make sure that we invest on a good youth leader because he has a lot of influence and on our children's spiritual life, because our children now want to hear a different voice than ours. From the parenting perspective, this is the stage when we do less teaching and more encouraging. We've done the teaching. We've done the teaching. I'm sorry to say the time has passed. 1 Thessalonians says, we treated each of you as a father treats his own children. What do we do? Pleading with you, encouraging you, and urging you to live your lives in a way that honors God. Let's never abdicate our role. That is still our role. But now we do a lot more encouraging. The best time to give your child a hug at this stage is when he's had a rotten day. When he has been disrespectful or when he's been having a really terrible day at school, just say, just come. Come into my arms. Tomorrow is a new day. Always give them hope. Tomorrow is a new day, believe it or not. We all survived our adolescence. So how do we encourage? We need to express love verbally. I love you. We need to be patient. They want to pull away from the family, but you need to make sure that they know that they are included. We'd love for you to come. I don't want to come, but we'd love for you to come. Oh, I don't know if I want to come, but we'd love for you to come. Are you sure you don't want to come? We can still be firm but friendly, you know. This is when we really be good listeners. A teenage girl was telling me, I was trying to talk to my mother and she was on the phone, you know. Mom, can I talk to you? Yes. But Mom, I need to talk to you. Yes, go ahead. And so she said, I couldn't talk to her. This is when we need to sharpen up our listening. They also want privacy. And I think our motto should be, I trust you until you give me reason not to. So I'm not going to go through your drawers. I'm not going to go through your things unless you give me reason to do so. Let's not just be nosy for being nosy. Stay involved. We need to reward them when they've been mature. But especially reward them for a heart action. For example, the teenage girl that went to a birthday party and came back with a piece of cake for her younger brother. She didn't have to do that. That was a heart action. That gets rewarded. We don't reward beauty. We don't even reward intelligence. That's something God has given them. They have it. What comes from the heart gets rewarded. It gets praised. This is when we allow for other significant others, but we need to pay attention who they are. This is where the youth leader is a good investment, or somebody that they can talk to. Now, believe it or not, our kids worry about us a lot. So I've got this picture of this beautiful girl. One of the most important factors in an adolescent's success or failure is their parents' marriage. You may think, it was just a little spat we had. It's just a little spat. My wife and I had a little spat. For them, it's disastrous. This means my world is being rocked. So many couples say, well, we're getting divorced for the sake of the children. Oh, please. That's an excuse. The children would rather you stay together and work through your problems. So father absence is a very big thing in this generation. And we need to fight it. We need to fight against that. Bring back the fathers. Stay married. Okay, so here's 3 bits of advice. The best thing a father can do for his children is to love their mother. Treat her with respect, and for the wife to treat him with respect. If we respect each other, our children learn respect. But when we talk to each other in a nasty way, that's when they... Okay. Next thing you can do, next best thing you can do is to stay married and work on your marriage. That's what you need to work on. Marriage is like a little nest. So Chris and I are empty nesters. What does that mean? All our little birds have flown away. But it's like a little nest. So when one starts going like this, those little people are feeling like they're in an unsteady place. So if I can reinforce this with this picture, loving relationships are a family's best protection against the challenges of the world. When our children love to come home, because home is where there's peace, home is where there's joy, home is where there's love. These things are priceless. You can't put a price on this. Now, how do you think our teenagers rate us? Do you know that there was a poll? You'd be surprised. There was an online poll of teens grading their parents. Are you surprised? 43% said that my parents were excellent. 34 said they were pretty good. 10% said satisfactory. 6 could do better. 7 failed. But, you know, when you take the top 3, they're pretty good. They love us. Our children love us. They care for us. They suffer when we suffer. The only thing is that they don't know what to do to help us. And finally, just want to finish with this incredible Psalm 78, beautiful psalm. This is what Christian families do. We will not hide these truths from our children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of our Lord, about his power and his mighty wonders. This is our role. And for those that have prodigals, which means children that came to the Lord at a younger time and then left, don't give up. Don't give up. The Father is always waiting. The door is always open, and the prodigal will come home.